see if we're live. Says we're live now.
I think it's going.
It's going. It's going. Ooh, I need to sit up. Says we're live now. We live?
I think so. I don't have the chat. I don't know why the chat's not working.
It's going. It's going. Ooh, I need to sit up.
Here it is. All right. We live.
All right, guys.
We got it going.
We're live. Welcome to the Hydro Pump Podcast, episode 1, featuring Golden Wartortle, aka Adam, and then Adam 2, because one Adam's not enough.
It's never enough.
The NC Packbuster. He's gonna roll our intro.
Yeah, boy. Here it is.
There it is.
Yo, you got to turn
your. How's everybody doing?
You got to turn that down.
I did. I turned it down. I don't know why it keeps coming on. There we go. What's up, everybody?
What's going on, everyone?
Live. LSG. What's up, man? What's up, Z?
Well, so we got Trinity. What's going on? Mo's in here. Yeah, the intro was fire. Good old Epic Tube HD.
Yeah, Epic Tube HD hooked us up. Paid him off with a little bit of vintage, but he did an awesome job for us. So how's everybody doing? Oh, Minuteman Ren, what's up, Minuteman?
Tim Weaver's in here. We got a good group. Let's do this.
We do got a good group. Hey, thanks everybody for stopping by and showing some support and some love. So, I don't know, what was that? It was probably 2 weeks ago. We started chatting on Skype. We started figuring it out. And, I don't know, we've been chatting for a while when to do something like this. And we were just chatting and we were like, dude, let's record one of these. Let's record one of these chats. So we decided, let's give it a shot. We worked out all the kinks. I got my camera working. He's over there behind the scenes. Obviously, we I don't know. We just thought, let's give it a try. Let's give it a try, right?
We did. Yeah, sorry about Turtle's volume. I'm trying to get it. This is round 1, so we're just trying to get this fit. But yeah, we started talking about it. We Skype from time to time, trying to just come up with the next best thing. Those of you guys that know us, and it started as just 2 Adams talking Pokemon, and then we were like, you know what? Why can't we just run this as a Pokecast, podcast, whatever you want to call it, type thing, and see what people think about it? And I mean, if we can just sit here for a couple hours and talk Pokemon with each other, why not bring the rest of y'all into it and have some fun with it? So that's how this whole thing came to be. We're just going to run this as we've got a couple of topics that we're going to cover, but if anybody's got any questions, we'll snag them out of the chat and we'll try and open them, or answer them. And we're just going to go down the line. It's anything from playing the game to buying and selling, because this guy's out of his mind with buying crazy old stuff, and market trends, that kind of stuff, what we're looking for, and then what we have going on, and then anything else that y'all want to hear. So I know we've probably both done sales and trades with most of you in this room. So I mean, that's just where we're going to go with it. So we're going to start off with our Pokemon history, how Pokemon came to be. Hello, Sally. And Chase and Ethan. I'm going to try and both of us are going to try and keep up with chat the best we can. Pokemon for me came to be when it originally came out. I was doing a lot of playing at the local card shop. played with base, played with Jungle and Fossil, and then I fell out of it. Started playing a lot more Star Wars TCG and the Star Trek TCG at the time, and then it wasn't until it was about 2 years ago Addison came home with some cards, and it was really cool, and it all worked, and I was like, oh man, like I remember these from back when I was a kid, like this is really cool. And so we bought some theme decks. I teach her how to play the game, taught her how to play the game, and then we kind of took a little bit of a break, and then we watched a couple of videos on YouTube. They just popped up on somebody's feed, and either I think it was on mine somewhere, and I was like, hey, like they were like, let's try this, let's try making a video. And I was a little apprehensive at first, but with me being gone away from home about 180 days a year for the last 9 years, we needed something to kind of make it work for us, and we started making the videos so we had something to do together when we were home, but also that we could watch again while I was gone, and the kids could watch too. So that's how we got into this whole thing. What about you, Turtle?
Yeah, so I'm kind of the same way. Mine was, I remember going back to like the 7-Eleven. I think I've said this a couple times in some of my videos, just grabbing a pack for like $3. Like, you know what I mean? You grab a Slurpee and there's like jungle packs there, like at the cash register. It's crazy. But yeah, I remember, going, I think my shop was like called Comic Connection. It was right next to Toys R Us. And I remember going there, and I don't know if it's crazy because it's so long ago. I can't remember if I ever pulled like a Charizard or one of the big ones, but I remember going in there, and what was cool is they had all the packs, and then they'd have the glass cases full of like all the cards that were traded in and stuff, and so that's like kind of where like my memory of it. I probably stopped around like Gym Heroes, Gym Challenge. I'm thinking is when I probably stopped collecting. Or stopped, and that probably was. I'm trying to think of where I was. I've had been in like high school or something. But then, like you, my son Bryce, who opens up all the packs on my channels, he came home. It had to been like Generations or had to been around that time frame, or Evolutions, because I remember opening up the packs and thinking, oh my God, I remember these things. And so he started opening up packs, and that was probably that's like 2017-ish. So my mind is always like, man, this stuff is expensive, even like for the newer stuff. So I'm like, how can I make some money off of this to like fund it? So that's kind of like how I got into like the vintage stuff, because that was stuff I was more familiar with. So I started buying up stuff, and it was probably like 7 months ago. I started doing mystery boxes. So I was like selling mystery boxes, going, because I'd come home and Bryce is like watching people open Pokemon cards, like Nate, real Breaking Nate, and trying to think of who else. Probably Leonhardt or something like that. I know CJV is going to give us shit for that, but and that's the stuff that he started watching.
Yeah.
So I created a YouTube account, started connecting with different people, and because I had some vintage stuff, but not like the stuff I have now that I bought up. But then I just started reaching out to people, and they're like, yeah, because you got to start somewhere. Because we'll talk about it later, but it's like you got to gain trust somewhere, right? You can't. It's hard just to say, hey, I have, especially with like the vintage stuff. You say, hey, I have a bunch of vintage stuff. Would you like to buy like a mystery box or buy some vintage stuff? Because with the Wade stuff and the heavy stuff and the light stuff, it's hard to like get someone to trust you. But like once I sold one, and then someone sees it open on a channel, and it kind of just snowballed from there. And the more you sell, the more credibility you get, and it's kind of been crazy. It's been fast forward for like the past 3 months, and like it's kind of like here we are. I gave you like $100. You got $100 mystery box, and we started chatting, and then here we are. We're like, no, let's record us. Let's record two Adams talking about Pokemon stuff. But that's how I got into it. It's just the same as you, just the kids.
Yeah, that's where it all started, and then the Sagrips came up with the name, and Epic Tube.
Oh yeah, I gotta give them a shout out for the name, right?
Epic Tube did the.
We don't want to get sued. We don't want to get sued already for copyright infringement of the name. I gotta pay them off.
Nothing wrong with getting into the newer stuff. Absolutely not. I mean, you've got to start somewhere. It's the cheaper.
And that's what's cool about this is like I'm more versed in like the vintage stuff, and you're more versed in the newer stuff. So it's like it works perfectly. You know what I mean? Like you kind of have the best of both worlds here. You know, I've been teaching you some stuff, and then you've been teaching me some stuff about like. I mean, we'll talk about building decks maybe this time, maybe not, but it's like all this stuff with like at least the newer stuff is kind of new for me. But I started getting into the newer stuff, Hidden Fates, and then Cosmic Eclipse, and I'm kind of like that's where my new binders have started is Hidden Fates. So Double Trouble Adams.
Yep. Everybody's in here talking about fishing. I want to go outside and throw a line in the water.
Fishing?
They're all talking about fishing. I want to go throw a line in the water right now.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Timothy Weaver started with the newer stuff. He's never seen Pokemon till a month ago. Yeah, like his kids played it a lot, and then once the shop opened and started playing, he was coming in, and now he's full force between buying decks and everything else. And then K-Dubs hasn't gotten into vintage. It's a little pricey. We'll talk about that in a little bit here, K-Dub. And then there's a lot of talk about catfish and perch. Man, I could go for some fried catfish right now.
Bryce is actually allergic to fish.
Ooh, that's
poor guy.
That's a bummer. I don't think.
He can't eat it, but he still go deep sea fishing and stuff. But yeah, he can't eat it.
So, and then Ren, that's a good idea. If you really want to get into the vintage, at least just for the art, start with the Japanese stuff because it is generally cheaper.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into our recent purchases. You're the crazy mailman. And then before we get into that, I want to give each time we do this, we'll give a seller shout out. And this week, I got to shout out my man, Danny Phantom on Instagram. He's probably got the best sale going on right now for the new Sword and Shield set. He's doing cases for $4.95, boxes for $88 shipped. And then 3K bulk for a single box, 8K bulk for 3 boxes, and then 15K bulk for a case. So doing our live streams at night, a lot of people have been asking me about bulk, hitting me up on Instagram and whatnot about bulk and on Discord. If you're looking at getting rid of bulk now because money's tight because of everything that's going on, and you've got it, send it to Danny. Hit him up on... now I'm laughing at you in chat. Hit him up on Instagram. It's danny.phantump, Phantump, and he'll hook you up. He's a good guy. I do a lot of purchases through him. He's always fair and gets stuff out right away. You'll have it, unless the mail's screwed up by that time, you'll have it by launch. So it'll be really good.
I think that's a lot of people have questions, especially people with like that open a bunch of cards. Is what do they do with their bulk? I mean, it's not just like us talk. I mean, like literally, it's in a lot of people's like questions. Is what do they do with bulks? And like I told you, probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I mean, before we were under house arrest, I actually found a guy local through Facebook Marketplace, and it just I must have had, I think I had something up for sale, and he said, "What else do you have?" And it's like, "Hey, I open up some stuff on YouTube, and I have a bunch of bulk." And then it came into, "Hey, I buy bulk," and it's obviously I haven't been able to get out to him anytime recently just because of what's going on. But there's a lot of people on Instagram too that you just stack up the large flat rate boxes and just get as much stuff in there, because obviously the cards weigh a lot if you're trying to like mail out bulk. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people just stack those up, and you can send them. Usually it's, I don't know, what is it, like 25 or 2,500 or 3,000 bulk for a booster box sometimes is what I see.
Yeah, it's 3K generally.
I mean, I know you are different because you like build decks and stuff, so you're like, I guess, doing more with your bulk, but for me, I usually just I get a binder, and I'll keep the like I told you before, even if it's a 25-cent GX card, it goes in a penny sleeve and a card saver. That's just how I am. But like commons, uncommons, hollows, reverse hollows, reverse commons, all those. I get, I don't know, like 2 cents is probably normal for a common, uncommon, maybe.
Yeah, between 2 and 3 cents a piece.
Yeah.
And then you just pack as many. I think you can put. I was wishing Spencer was going to be in here. He might pop in here later. I know that he sent his out before. I think you can put 9K if you pack it right inside of the $15 flat rate box.
Yeah.
So I mean that's 3 boxes, right? You just $30 in shipping. With you know, I mean you only need 15K for a full case of 6 boxes.
Yeah, and a lot of the times, depending, like if you find like most of the times you're gonna find someone that if you pay the $15 to ship it out there,
yeah,
they're gonna give you your stuff back the same way, free shipping as long as it's not international. At least that's what I've seen.
K-Dub, I wrote your question down. We will get to that one. That's on our list of things. And then what have you got for mail, and what are your purchases right now?
So I don't want to be a spoiler, but this is like, I guess this will be future mail. So I know if you guys see a couple of my videos back, I got a new the Green Wing base set. It's also in our intro. We had to flex a little bit in our intro, right? So I got that from a guy. He's out in Portland, and he used to be a distributor. But I bought my first booster box. I bought like a first edition Fossil booster box off of him. And what I did is I just messaged him, you know, how did you get all these boxes? Because so many times you want to ask the question. I mean, because this one was just like mint. And I'm like, how did you get these boxes? Do you have any more? I noticed you have, you know, a few other stuff. Like, you know, how did you get this stuff? And he's like, well, I was a distributor. And I have a storage container full of them. It's, you know, I don't have everything, but I do have, you know, base set, jungle, some theme decks and stuff like that. So I said, you know, once you do that first transaction and you gain some trust, then what you can do is you share information, and then you can bypass eBay with a bunch of the fees and all that stuff. So I've formed a pretty good relationship off of him, and that's where I got my Green Wing box. I always wanted a base set box. Obviously the first edition, you know, boxes. If you're not PokeRev, or you're not who else? I think Leonhard just bought one too. If you're not those guys,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you do have money, doesn't mean you're going to get one just because they come up on auction now. They're coming on auctions where like people are auctioning cars and stuff. It's that like high of a collectible. But I wanted something that was a little bit more rare than just a regular booster box base set. So I bought that, as you guys seen, and then he had another box, and I think me and you are gonna go half on. So stay tuned for that. So gonna get the other Adam in the vintage game, right?
Got to start somewhere.
I bought I've added to my first team the Team Rocket first edition set hollows. I've also started to I wanted to start another set, but I didn't want to start with another set that's like a lot of money. Like some of these hollows and some of these older sets can get kind of pricey. Some of them are like $100, $200, and some get up there. So I started collecting the Black Star promo hollows. So I've been buying some of those because there's a lot of those that aren't even hollows, and there's a lot of them that are easy to grade. So I've actually on my PSA account, I've started to put all my sets together, because you can actually gain awards. Like if you put pictures and stuff and you complete sets, you can get awards. So I'm shooting for something.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah. So what else have I got? I got another WotC box that I'm getting that I'm actually going to crack, because I just sold out of my Team Rocket first edition, and you should be actually getting the empty box soon in the mail. Sent that guy off to you.
Christy had to stop in for a second. I'm sorry. It was
a little good night kiss.
I had
a little good night kiss.
I had to turn the volume up so everybody could hear you, because it wasn't registering to the OBS the right way, so it's bothering her trying to get her homework done.
Oh,
But we're all right.
All right.
Love
And
you.
so, what else did I?
I'll forgive you,
what
Adam
else
number
have I got?
2.
What'd she say?
She said, "I'll forgive you, Adam number 2." Oh man.
Sorry. I'm usually not the loud one. I got so many kids. I mean, it's just natural for me to start talking louder because I got to talk over everybody.
That's how I was all day.
Yeah. Huh, Dad?
That's how I was all day.
Yeah, and so I also, I how I do the raffle game and Instagram. I really don't. I don't know if I'd recommend that for everybody though. You know what I mean? Because I definitely don't recommend it because it's just you can get addicting to it, and there's a lot of risk reward in that. But I've been lucky, so. But I got a couple blisters, some fossil blisters set. What else I got? I got a expedition set coming. So yeah, I've been picking up some older stuff, and then I've also done a couple mystery boxes. I finally got I was telling you this yesterday. I got what's a shiny Charizard in a PSA 10. But so instead of trading, instead of buying it outright, I traded a mystery box for it, vintage mystery box. I convinced the guy, Dank Fowler. So a lot of people on here probably know who that is. He had it up for sale, and I said, let's keep it in the PokeTuber community here. I'll take it from you. Let me do a mystery box because some of the stuff I'm going to sell you or put in the mystery box is actually going to, if I just give you like $400 for it or whatever for it, that $400 you're either going to spend it or maybe it's $400. But some of the stuff I can give you, I'll make sure that it holds its value and it'll increase your value. So other than that, it's just not much. I've actually sold out of a few vintage stuff, so I'm in the process of getting some more stuff in. As you know, it's kind of hard because everybody wants to sell it at premium, so you gotta kind of go through all your contacts and see who's bought stuff and go that way. It's not. I can't go to Target and buy it, so it's a little bit harder than buying the new stuff.
Yeah. Dave's like, make sure this gets to a minimum of 3,500 likes. Y'all are crazy.
Minimum.
Yeah, minimum. So for me on the purchase end of things right now, most of y'all know that I just got back from about 30 days of being gone. What did I pick up? Let's see here. Let me see if the screen will go up high enough. All those Generations boxes up there. Yeah,
Tell them about all this. I mean, you got some semi-vintage stuff, right? That you just walked in and some guy was like selling stuff for like.
Yeah, so one of the things to do if you obviously we can't do it right now, right? No, I'm not going to tell anybody to go outside. Like, stay inside. Let's contain this thing, right? Yes, a gym challenge set for $300 is worth it, and if you don't buy it, I will. Trainer Leo just put something up in there. I think that so if you have the opportunity to go around I rented a car in the greater Boston area, and I was there for a couple days, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to Google all the shops that sell Pokemon cards in the greater Boston area and southern New Hampshire. And I just started driving around to these places, and I found base set Zards. I found all sorts of vintage cards that I was looking for. Found some vintage bulk because we're starting to do some mystery packs that had not necessarily boxes on Wartortle side, but Mr. Weaver's in here somewhere. His kids bought some, and we're putting some vintage bulk inside of those, so people can have some of the older cards. I found XY booster boxes. I found tons of black and white starter decks that I'm just holding on to, waiting for the market to hit the right way. But go into these shops, you never know what's going to happen. And hold on a second.
Yeah, he picked up some crazy stuff that I feel like 3 or 4 years ago they put a price sticker on it and they just kind of kept it at the same price. It was ridiculous when the stuff he was showing. Other stuff I would recommend picking up too. If you find them anywhere, is if you look behind. Is that a Great Ball collection back there? No, that's not a Great Ball.
No, the Great Ball collections are on the other side of the room.
Yeah, but those those are. I mean, we'll maybe talk a little bit later about first and second run with the Hidden Fate stuff, but
he's probably
that's another thing I've been picking those up too. Funny enough, you'll still see them popping up at Target. I mean, before we were isolated and not able to go out, I used to pick those up.
I'm reading Spencer. Spencer. I was actually looking for your card and I couldn't find it. There's a lot of people, and I absolutely love these cards. These guys from Legendary Collection, the Fireworks Reverses.
Yeah.
Like, when I was driving around, I was finding those in like mint condition at like, I think they were taking the TCG player prices and not snagging them the right way. Those are fake because I went off camera. He's just jealous because I have the one that he wants. I mean, just drive around. I know Spencer goes to his local card shop all the time for sealed products. Like, there's not a lot of LCSs around, but if you can find them, there are some deals to be found.
Dude, I'm so jealous that you like every time we talk and you're like, dude, I was over at the card shop. I was like building decks and all this stuff. I'm so jealous because I told you earlier, I have like these little shops, but you can do the pre-release stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. I mean, like they don't sell. I mean, they don't sell anything vintage. And like I think a lot of times, at least where I'm at, I think it's a missed opportunity. Like some of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. You could sell it because a lot of people are like you and me, where we have kids that are going in there to buy some packs of cards, and then you got the dad there, and you're like, oh wow, there's I mean, even if it's like any of the older stuff, and maybe it's not a mint condition, or maybe it doesn't have to be a slab or anything, but I would swoop it up.
So,
and even just looking at it,
yeah,
just knowing that it's there. It would be cool for me.
So K-Dub's got a really good question here. I just want to get it before. I'm sorry, but
no, go ahead.
3 fast. Oh yeah, I did, Spencer. Walmart's got those here and there, but K-Dub wants to know what I look up when I'm going for local card shops. I just go to regular Google search and I broaden out to usually like 150 miles because that's what I'm usually willing to drive, and I've done it a couple of times now. And I just put in Pokemon cards, and then if I don't get enough back, I'll do Pokemon TCG, and then I will Yelp the card shop, and then I will also look at their Google reviews. And I found one shop, any of you that are in the Northeast, it's called Aces Boston, and it's in Revere, so about 15, 20 minutes outside the city. And it was hopping. The most sealed product I've ever seen in a shop. I picked up XY base boxes. They had a ton of the theme decks in there. They were selling Elite Trainer boxes at $30, which I don't think any LCS sells them for that cheap. So just, kind of play with the Google algorithm in the search and see what pops up. And then, it all really depends on where you're at. Because I'm looking at Dark Ragged Daddy saying nothing in the Midwest is cheap. Most places have LCS tournament, do the pre-release tournaments and stuff, but I'm going to tell you what I did. A local card shop reached out to us that had just opened up and they wanted to get Pokemon rolling. This is more in line with what Leo was saying. And we just got to talking with the shop owner, and, one thing came to the next, and we started bringing Pokemon cards in there and teaching people how to play. And it went from having 2 people walk in to learn one day to they're consistently for the last couple of months, 2 months at least, have 18 to 20 people playing in there in a tournament every Saturday. And all it did was take somebody that was passionate about the stuff that had a little bit extra that they could put in there. And, that's what started it. Minuteman ran New Jersey. Yeah, I found some really good shops in Jersey.
It's crazy
both in Camden and Toms River.
East Coast, they have some nice stuff out there.
Yeah. Not North Carolina, but,
Yeah. Like upper East Coast.
Yeah, absolutely. Tons of places.
Yeah.
All right, Trinity, thanks for stopping in.
You did.
What's that? I was just saying later to Trinity.
Oh, later, Trinity.
Say hello to Sally for us, please.
But yeah, I did the same thing you did. Kind of just broaden it, and I kind of just look for the weird name stuff. I think one of the places I looked up was called like the Laughing Ogre. So I'm like, all right, well, let's go see what's in there. So I went in there, and there's some magic stuff, but there wasn't a ton of like Pokemon and vintage stuff. I mean, they were just, it looked like just a local place where they were playing Magic and they were playing other TCGs, but there wasn't anything vintage in there. Maybe, I mean, I don't even know if they had any black and white stuff. Maybe old XY stuff, but not much. You do see some of these bigger Pokemon tubers or whatever, and it's crazy. You get jealous when you say, "Hey, I went to my local card shop and they had even like loot box, how he gets to trade in some of this stuff there." It's like I don't even have that option. I mean, I'm like I said,
I am the trade-in guy.
What's that?
I am the trade-in guy.
I mean, look right behind you. You have boxes and boxes full of bulk. It's just too much for me. It's too much for me. And I'd rather give it to someone I know that's going to do something with it. I mean, I'll keep I'll keep some of my WotC bulk and stuff. And as some of the people on here, like Minuteman and trying to see who else is in there, I send it out because I like people to enjoy it, like I get to enjoy it. As long as I have it in my binder, like I have no problem. Like people get so obsessed with the hollows sometimes with all these older stuff, but man, all the older artwork, regardless of whether it's a hollow or not, is so awesome. And that's why I like putting all my stuff in binders. I don't know how many people. I mean, probably the majority of people like binders, but like just being able to open it and kind of go through it, it's so awesome. Like with my vintage stuff, I'll have Team Rocket and Gym Challenge and Gym Heroes, and it's kind of cool just to even though they're not complete, just to go through those. I enjoy it too with the newer stuff now, because Bryce has a bunch of binders and stuff, But the new stuff, I'm old school. I like a set that's like 82 cards. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, make the hollows more rare, and give me an 82 card set every day of the week. Those Cosmic Eclipse, like 300 some, it's crazy. Like I just got done opening up a booster, and it's like I'm opening up a whole booster looking for like 2 or 3 cards, and then you don't get once you get like if you get a rainbow, you're like, well, I'm 3 packs in, I got a rainbow that I already have, and then it's like, all right, I got everything else.
Yeah, and that's why LSG will tell you not to buy a booster box if he's still sitting in here. But thanks, Leo.
I've actually had a lot of like with Sword and Shield, like buying the single blisters, because you never know. I'll try to find a thing that's filled and just buy a bunch of those packs, because you could have back-to-back rainbows. You're not limited to basically knowing what you're going to get before you open up a box.
Yeah, but you could also buy 36 packs and get trash. I mean,
I know.
The likelihood is low, but yeah, I knew LSG was going to speak up and say booster boxes aren't worth it. But it all just depends on what you want.
Right.
It depends on what you're looking for. If you're a player, I think the booster box is the way to go, because you're going to need the playable cards anyway. If you're a collector, maybe. It just all depends. I think, and it all depends on how your luck is too, because you just never know. There's been times I've walked into GameStop and I've bought 4 packs of Unbroken Bonds and pulled 4 ultra rares, and the next time I walk in, I buy 10 packs of something else, and it's like, I didn't even get a hollow. So you just never know. I mean, it's all. If you want to make sure that you're going to get something, buy a booster box. But if you want to increase your odds, it's probably better to buy the blisters. But I mean, it's
but it's something about, for me, I'm old school, so it's something about busting open a booster box. You know what I mean? Even though it is like, even if it's just $85 and it's not even the same price as like one vintage pack, it's just something about opening up a booster pack and flying through some and ripping through some packs. Especially Bryce, he'll rip through them in 2 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's something about it.
And we're both content creators, as most of the people are in here, and so sometimes just buying the booster box is easier, because you can't necessarily, unless you're buying the cases of the blisters, like it's hard to get them for the same price as you would if you were buying the full booster box, right? So it becomes like this, like what is the better thing at the end of the day? And you just never know what you're going to get, which kind of leads into the next topic that we wanted to talk about, and Trainer Leo had brought it, Trainer Leo's dad had brought it up to me the other day, is like what's really worth what. And I don't think he made it in here yet, but I had a discussion with somebody at one point when I first started. I think Spencer was actually the first person I finally broke down and sold cards to, because I had a hard time with it. Like, I really wanted the trade because I just wanted the complete sets, because I like to master set things.
Exactly.
But I didn't want to put an arbitrary value on the cards, because I was like single sleeve blisters are the way to go, not 3-pack blisters. I'm just going to answer that one because I would forget it. I would buy single packs over the 3s. But like, it was hard for me to put these arbitrary values on these cards, and I felt like, man, am I acting like a jerk that I'm asking this much money? Because I generally sell 15 to 20% below TCG market, and it's like, I just don't want to put these on there. I don't want to put a price to it, and I held off for a long time until Spencer was like, I don't really have anything to trade you, but throw me a price. And I threw him a price, and I was like, oh, okay. Maybe I can do something with this. And I think Leo was asking me the other night, like, he had some sealed product. He had some Hidden Fate sealed product and some cash for a bunch of singles that they didn't have. And I told him that it was one of the legendary collection things from Hidden Fates, the one that has like the giant Gyarados card in it and the 7 packs, the $50 one, the Euro pack.
Yeah.
And he had it, but the guy was like trading all these cards that they wanted. And so he traded that with some cash for these cards. And at the end of the day, I think the value is there, because I don't think that the value for that Hidden Fates product is good, because it was a second run and the pull rates are low. I've opened 5 or 6 of them, and I've gotten trash every single time.
Somebody just opened some on their channel, and my comment was, we will find out real soon if this is first or second. He was opening up a pin collection. I was like, you'll find out real quick whether this is first or second run. And he opened it up, and he didn't get one pull. I'm like, second, you know what I mean? And then his comment back was second run. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Brady, I'll hit you. We'll work something out for those ETB boxes. But yeah, it's what you want to pay for it. I mean, it's the arbitrary value of the card, and the value is it more? I told him, I said, is that sealed product worth more to you than what those cards are, because it could have a Charizard in it, or is like you and Leo having those cards worth way more to you than that? Because that's really the value of the card. It's not what a website says. It's really, at the end of the day, what it means to you. It's why some people will pay $500 for a Charizard, and other people will wait to find the deal at $200. So.
Right, and that's like I was telling you the other day. It's the same thing with my Gyarados that I sold for $3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had it up for a lot more, but the main reason to put it up was just so people look at, search for that, see something of high value, then come to my store and see what else I have. And who knows, the end buyer that ended up buying that to them, like I was telling you, that could be the last card that they needed to complete a set, or they had a first edition Magikarp and they wanted to pair it with. It could have been their favorite Pokemon. It could have been a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is like no one had sold it. Like I looked everywhere. Like that set the market at $3,000 for that first edition Gyarados, and that's my favorite. That was like one of my favorite cards, but because that's my favorite Pokemon. But at the same time, it's like, someone wanted that way more. I mean, because I think I was telling you, I bought it from anywhere. It's like $1,000 to $1,500 is what I bought it for, and someone was able to just double that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that I can find it again for cheaper. Just because I sold it for $3,000 doesn't make that what that card is worth now. Although a lot of people, the first thing they'll do when you're trying to sell them something or buy something from me is they'll go on eBay, they'll go on recent sale and say, hey, 2 weeks ago, that card sold for $3,000, so that's how much the card's worth.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really work that way. At least to me, it doesn't work that way. Like even when it's nice to go in there to kind of. When I go in to purchase something, I don't go in and look at eBay and say, well, it sold for $300, so I'll offer you $300. I always start off with, how much is the card worth to you? Because there's going to be more of these cards. And if you feel like the card is worth $350 and I feel like it's worth $250, I'm not going to beat you up over it. I'm just going to find, you know what I mean? Because every card is what somebody's willing to pay for, and that's the bottom line. It just is.
Absolutely.
I've paid up on cards because I've really wanted it, and I've also got really good deals on it because the other person didn't have an emotional attachment to it. Do you know what I mean? So it just like I think I just bought a rainbow. I was telling you the other day I bought the rainbow Gyarados from is it Crimson Invasion? I think it's from the rainbow. And I want it. I want it because it's my favorite Pokemon, and the guy had it up for like $100. Now I don't know if it's worth $100, but I know that it's the only one, and I wanted it, and I was like, dude, I'm getting it. I'm not even gonna haggle you on the price. So I got it.
Yeah.
I look back, and it's probably I've seen them sold for as low as 60, and I saw them as low as high as 120. I mean, that was just what I felt comfortable paying. I was like, you know what, $100. I'm not even gonna beat you up from it. So I got it. So I don't know if I set any price or set any market on it, but that's what I was willing to spend. So at that moment, that's how much the card was worth. And I think a lot of times the bigger guys like PokeRev and TCA Gaming, they also kind of set the market for pricing too, because they have so much stuff and a lot of stuff that other people don't have. Yeah, and they can just they can just put a number out. I mean, I've always wanted to have a conversation. Is why is the Rockets Black Promo Meowth? Why is it worth $30? Mm-hmm. Who knows? Do you know what I mean? But who knows? But a lot of the times I go to see if TCA Gaming has it, and 9 times out of 10, he's so known in the community that if he says the card's worth like $30, I just say I take it for his word. Take his word for it and think it's $30. But it's, especially in the raffles, I'll get in the raffles, and someone's like, "Man, that guy's selling that first edition Team Rocket pack for $115. That pack's only worth $85." And I'm like, says who? There's not price tags on these old stuff, man. Yeah. It's reputation and what someone's willing to pay for it. That's what it is, especially with the older stuff.
Yeah. I'm watching the chat over here, and I'm going to give my 2 cents to this whole thing because Mr. Weaver is, I consider him a good friend of mine now, as well as the kids. Yeah. They're talking about what's the best value to buy, because we kind of got off of that. And I love, so again, it's what do you want at the end of the day? So for me, I love going to the dollar store and buying dollar packs because the kids love opening packs. Mr. Weaver, I know your kids love opening packs. The thing about the Dollar Tree, so if we want to talk about guarantees, a Dollar Tree pack, you're not guaranteed a rare and you're not guaranteed a reverse. It's just 3 totally random cards, so you never know what you're going to get. Christy, while I was gone, opened a Sword and Shield box that was untampered with, had 96 packs in it. She had 13 ultra rares or better in that box. The next box she opened had 3. You open a regular booster box, from what I've seen with booster boxes with Sword and Shield, you're getting between 6 and 9, and you're getting at least 2 full arts, if not 3. Because we've opened boxes both live and in the shop, and I had one box that had 11 pulls in it. I was floored, and I had a gold card, a rainbow, and a full art trainer, and then 2 full art Pokemon in it, and it was the specials is I guess what they call them, and it's all. It is random, but if you do the math and you watch people open them, in most Sun and Moon era boxes, Cosmic Eclipse is a little bit of an anomaly. You got at least 4 ultra rare pulls and then 1 bonus, which is your full art, your rainbow rare, or your full art trainer, right, or your gold trainer. But that was your guarantee. You knew you were going to get 5, and every once in a while you got the bonus card, and then sometimes you could get 2 bonus cards because we've opened team up boxes recently that have had 7 pulls, 7 or 8 pulls in them. But you don't know what you're going to get. You buy random packs, just booster packs. You're guaranteed a rare and you're guaranteed a reverse, which gives you that. But the rare and the reverse could be total trash, as most of them are. And so, because not all of them are playable, maybe later on, because it's, a Gyarados card or a Blastoise or a Charizard that isn't necessarily playable right now, it'll probably shoot up in price because it's collectible and it's nostalgic and that's what people want to buy. But if you're just looking to get like raw value out of packs, it really is dependent on what you want to do, because I know a lot of people that rather go to Dollar Tree and spend $1 just because their kids want to rip packs. If they get something good, they get something good. And then I know some people that are, have a lot of expendable funds and they rather just crack booster boxes. We got a guy at the shop that buys like 3 boxes a week just because he'd rather open the packs and try and get the cards that he needs as opposed to, just buying the singles, which would be way cheaper to build your decks. But, he likes to open packs and he's got the expendable funds and he knows that he's guaranteed to get at least 5 ultra rare pulls per box. So hopefully that sums up at least my thoughts to, what's going on in chat right now. We all have our own way of doing it. Christy and I did a video where we did it Cosmic Eclipse Dollar Tree box side by side with a regular booster box, and it was pretty close. It was actually closer than I thought it was going to be. We got almost all of our Unbroken Bonds pulls out of Dollar Tree packs. It really is at the end of the day what you want. Like if the kids. Like I buy them dollar packs, but it's all. Tim just put it up here. It's all like gambling. At the end of the day, you don't know what you're going to get in the pack. We've ripped boxes open, and we've got not a single card that we needed for a set, and not a single card. Maybe a couple of trainers that are in the 50-cent category, and the rest of it was all bulk GX stuff. So at the end of the day, it is. Absolutely, Tim, and you being a Magic player know that all too well. That it's a gamble, but that's what keeps Christy coming back to Hidden Fates. Is she's just like, I don't know what we're gonna get. It's like gambling, and I love it. So, yeah. But it's the same thing. I think you'll agree with me. When you buy vintage, right? You are not a person that weighs out heavy packs. You don't buy heavy packs. You buy the boxes, and you do that, right? It's all a gamble. If I'm going to spend $60 on a pack, man, I want to have a holo in it, but I'm not going to spend $200 on a pack to make sure that it does, because.
Yeah.
Is that holo really going to be worth $200, or is it just the nostalgia factor that I'm going to pull a holo?
Right. And the thing, like I told you, 9 times out of 10 when you pull a holo, it's going to be a PSA 9. Do you know what I mean? So it's not going to be as worth the price you pay for the pack to begin with. That's why I always said, like, I always say that, like, sealed product is king. Like, at least if when it comes to like vintage stuff. Yeah. For me, I sell a lot more sealed product than I do, like PSA cards. I do. It's because there's more flexibility with sealed stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're gonna have people that want to open it, because you got people like Loot Box that opens up a bunch of stuff, but then you got people that will message me for certain pack arts because they want to collect pack arts, or they want to collect sealed stuff. So for me, at least for vintage wise, it's always about the sealed stuff. That stuff's key. That stuff is key. You can't judge by what's going on right now, but historically, that stuff is only going to go up. You're not going to see a crash. Like you said, you can't tell right now, like with what's going on. And to be honest, even with what's going on, maybe you see less. I've been seeing like less raffles, but they're not going for less amount of money. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's the select few that can still raffle, but it hasn't affected the price of how much vintage stuff goes for. It's just affecting the amount of people that are probably buying the vintage stuff. Even Loot Box said, we're going to slow down just to wait to see what's going on. And it's the same stuff with new stuff. Like, yeah. Everything's scheduled to come out, but if nobody can go to the store to buy it, then, yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just it is what it is.
I'm reading the chat right now, and this is exactly what we talked about yesterday. You do pay higher prices, 100%, and the I'm gonna hit off of this real quick. There is no comparison to the fun of cracking open $96 tree packs. It is absolute tons of fun. And we do it looking for playable cards too, to sell for the shop and whatnot. We'll just go down to Dollar Tree, buy a bunch, and just sit around in a circle at home, and we all just open packs. So that's a ton of fun. Right, 96 packs, sign me up. But to go off of Epic Tube and Spencer, Adam and I talked about this. It sounds like I'm talking to myself. Adam and I talked about this yesterday. 100% TCA gets more money because of reputation. I can tell you for a fact, not with you, but I've had other people like that I've sold stuff to online that have come back and have been willing to pay higher prices knowing that our stuff was as mint as it was, because we just treat our cards better. And I think we have a reputation we open stuff up, and it goes straight into a sleeve if it's something that needs to go into a sleeve. If the kids open stuff off camera, they keep all their cards. We don't let like crap into our system. So we just try and I agree that what costs justifies. Yeah. And so just reading off EpicTube here. I think you talked about it. You've seen, at least on eBay, that you're able to sell your stuff a little bit higher because you've kind of grown that reputation, and like people are like, I know that your stuff is good. Like, I'm not going to get jacked here. I know your stuff is 100% unweighed. I'm willing to pay the unweighed cost. So he's getting bugged right now.
It's just Bryce.
Oh,
Bryce, are you opening anything?
Which is really weird, right? Like, it's a Pokemon video without openings.
I was like, it's just two old Adams just talking Pokemon stuff.
Yeah, it's just
that's all it is.
Two old nerds. But like,
no, but the thing about too is to kind of bounce off what Epic's saying. There's been a lot of times too where like TCA can cater because he has a lot more stuff. He'll sell the heavy, he'll sell the lights. But there's been tons of times like he sold stuff and it was supposed to be heavy and it wasn't. And like you can just like he always backs up his word. So when you have stuff like that, I mean, that's why he can sell stuff more because that like if something happens and a pack's damaged or something like that, I mean, he's gonna make it right. That's just what kind of guy he is.
Right.
I know expensive is expensive, but I know I'm gonna pay. I know I would pay a little bit more. Like I buy a lot of slabs off of him. I mean, more so than I buy from other people, just because of his reputation. And I've gone to him a bunch of times. So like I said, I've sent some packs to him to open. So. And we've done stuff together where like it's nice because he gives me a discount on some of the stuff I buy, but but then you got PokeRev, who, I mean, if you see how much he charges per pack, it's kind of crazy. Like I mean, some of the stuff that I think he opened Gym Challenge and I think he charged like maybe 180. I don't want to quote. I pop in and watch some of it, but a Gym Challenge pack was like 180, and people buy it up, one because they trust them, and two, you're paying up too because you want to hear your name called while he's opening up a pack, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you do it, right? I mean,
or
why else? If I want to pay it, I'd rather open it up myself.
Yeah, but I mean, people pay Darium's a ton of money to open stuff on his stuff too. They want to see us open a pack, so I'm down for it if you are.
They want to open a pack?
I'm not open. Like I'm just gonna snag a Evolutions pack behind me or something. But I'm not a collector yet. But my Magic cards are enough. Yeah, collection for a lifetime. Yeah, and I mean your Magic collection is probably out of control. But So Trainer Wolf, he said he mentions me. Selling cards to the card shop. What's the price difference sold back as to what's found online? So I'm going to tell you this. I can't because I like my position at the card shop, I'm not going to tell you I can't tell you what card shops normally buy back at. But if you go into your local card shop, they're going to tell you what they're going to give you, and then you can, look it up on TCA Gaming or TCG Player on the app. Put the cards in there and see what it's worth. I would put it in the app. It'll break down what each card is, and it'll tell you, about what the market value, the high, the low. And then you just ask the card shop what they use for their pricing, right? So you kind of know where you're going to be at. I have a little bit different of a thing with the card shop that they sell singles, but I don't actually physically sell my cards to the shop. I have my own square with an iPad in the shop, and I sell at my prices if the card shop doesn't have it. And that was set up because we helped get them up and running, and they just don't have the overhead right now to buy up a ton of singles. So it's to help the card shop out with operating costs and whatnot. So mine's a little bit different. Now, if you are selling cards online, the hardest part about it is if you're not selling on places like Facebook, like in a Facebook group, not the marketplace, because the marketplace, in my opinion, it's not the best place. You're going to get more people.
I found my bulk dealer though.
But because you're going to have more people reach out to you asking if you buy stuff than if they want to do it. Yeah, we'll talk offline, Trainer Wolf, about this, but or Instagram, because they're not going to charge you fees. When you look at selling on eBay and you look at selling on Mercari, you're going to pay them 10%, and then you have to factor in how much you're going to pay in shipping. And then you have to factor in, if you're selling on eBay, you're going to take the 4% hit for getting it transferred to your PayPal account. So on eBay, you're taking a 14% hit. You're taking a 10% hit on Mercari, which are probably the two biggest places to sell stuff right now. And it's tough. And like the card is like, somebody's going to look at TCG Player and they're going to see that we'll take a Jirachi right now, right? Probably the most playable card in every single deck. It's about $25, between 20 and 25. Now, if somebody sees that you're selling it for 28, but they have free shipping, they're not looking at you as like, they're like, oh, why are you selling above the 25, which is the high market or the market value of it, right? Because they want the shipping for free. They don't see that you're adding shipping cost into it. So that's the really, really hard part about selling online, is you have to remember you're not going to get your money back out of it. Now, if you're just trying to sell cards because you're trying to free up money to buy more cards, go for it. I like selling on Mercari a whole lot better than anywhere else because there's actually a guarantee to your sales. If the person doesn't like it or they dispute it, like, there's no money change of hands. It's fine, and they take care of the shipping back to you. I've shipped stuff back to people that was not what I had ordered. So it's really tough, but there are a lot of people out there that will buy your cards. And just reach out to people in the community. Reach out to me if you're getting rid of stuff, especially if it's standard, anything from Ultra Prism or up. Like, we'll talk. So when you're looking at selling to a card shop, most card shops will give you more trade-in value if you spend the money in the store than they would cash value. So you just have to take that into account as well. But it's tough. And again, like, what are you willing to sell? What are you willing to let go of the card for? If I'm not going to sell it. I know that I can sell a Jirachi for, I think my going price is about $18 right now. Like, I'm not going to take $9 to $11 for it when I know that like selling the bottom end out of it at 18, I'm going to get it. So it's what you're willing to take for it. It goes right back to what Leo was asking me the other day. What is the actual card value to you, and what are you trying to get? If you pulled it out of a pack, who cares? You had the fun of it. If you get part of it back, cool. If not, I mean, it is what it is, right? But if you want to talk about let us know what you want to what you'd like to hear us talk about, because I mean, we can go on about like the buying and selling of this stuff and where it needs to be for hours. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of like, when I do eBay, 90% of the stuff I sell on eBay is to the foreign market. It is what it is. Like I sell stuff to Argentina, Germany, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, because there's not a lot of stuff over there. So they're willing to pay up because there's just not as much stuff over there. So, but a lot of the stuff I sell to like the States, it's all off Instagram. Like there's my information's just, it's out there. Like you should have my email, you should have my Instagram. Don't ever like go to eBay and see what I have, but I just use that more of a tool to sell internationally because there is a ton of people that want vintage stuff internationally, and that's 90% of the stuff I sell on there is usually international. And I don't charge and I charge shipping, so it's not like, do you know what I mean? Like if you want to ship to the UK, it's like $20. If you want to ship to anywhere else, it's probably like $14 for like packs and stuff, and all that they pay for all their shipping. But for me, all the stuff in the States, free shipping, and the deal's gonna be a lot better. I mean, and I'm still making out because the whole thing is it takes a while, and it's all about forming connections and contacts and stuff like that. Because if you end up buying a lot of stuff off certain people, buy a lot of stuff, they're willing to give you better prices because they know. I mean, because you never know. You never know how somebody gets the pack and how it gets to you, right? Yeah. That's why I like to buy sealed booster box, and I found that guy out in Portland, and it's like he's my connection for boxes because I know he's always sending me goodies. Like he sends me a bunch of like I sent you that he sent me 2 fossil stickers from a card shop, and like there's the only 2 I've ever seen. And like I have one, and I sent the other one to Adam. So 2 guys named Adam have those, and they're so cool. I mean, like where else do you find that stuff? And when he sent me all that stuff in my first box, I'm like, this dude's legit. He has stuff that you don't see anywhere. So I open up all my stuff. I have my boxes, and it's all about reputation. And like I said, like it took me months to gain that reputation, and that's where I'm at right now. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same thing with you. It's you're on here, you're opening millions and millions and tons of packs. It's like you form those relationships. That's the best part about this, right? That's kind of like why we did this. We're like, hey, we sit here, we talk for like 2 hours, and they're like, let's record us talking, because then instead of just talking to each other, we have like a bunch of these people that are probably asking the same questions or like wanting to talk about the same stuff, and we figured that's why let's make it interactive. Let's talk to people. Let's see what people want to talk about, and we can sit here and talk. And if we're going to do it anyway, might as well interact with everybody else because it's such an awesome community.
Absolutely. And it's all about building up the community. And I'm going to hit off EpicTube here a little bit. Just like Rhyme Style, like I'm not out for this to make money. I never was. It was all about just collecting the cards and playing with the kids. And then like it became this community thing that like, I mean, we've been going at this for an hour and everybody's still chatting and doing that kind of stuff. And it's really cool. And that's what it's all about. And yes, like I'm not in this to open up a ton of packs and just make money. That's not where this is at. It helps to be able to get rid of some of it to pay for the problem that we have because it's almost an addiction at this point. So like that's a big portion of me. And then I just want to throw it out there. When you're buying stuff, Tim found out the hard way when I sent him a text message today. Know what you're buying at the same time. So, we can go off on forever about that, but know that, know what you're buying and touch and reach out to people. Cause like there are a ton of us in this community that could probably answer your question. And if, somebody reaches out to me and I don't know the answer, there's a bunch of people that I could tap, and a lot of you are in this live stream right now, but, I think we've all pinged something off of each other. In EpicTube, I know the seller that you're talking about. So I think 1 and 2 both understand what you're saying. The guy that was selling all those boxes over in England that he keeps posting on his Instagram that he sold another one and sold another one. His prices were astronomical.
I know. And the thing about it is like that was all in pounds, man. That was like euros. That wasn't USD. So like when you saw like, oh, that's 2,000. Well, it's like, no, that's not USD, man. That's a lot more than you think. Yeah. And I think there's so many people in the community that have stuff. So like if you're really looking for something, there's if we don't have it,
I'm gonna just keep talking. I'm just doing this right? For them. Keep going.
But like I was where I was buying my booster boxes before, like now I'm not going to buy any new booster boxes unless it's from Adam. Do you know what I mean? So it's just you. There's somebody in this community. There's another person that has a bunch of newer stuff.
Yizzy.
This LSG.
Yeah.
LSG has a ton of stuff, newer stuff, and he does mystery boxes. He does awesome like modern mystery boxes and stuff like that because he just did with Wade's Brigade.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many people out there that you can find that are really reputable. That there is somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, right? Like you were telling me, like if you need something, because this is what Adam told me. We were talking about the other day. Adam was like, if there's somebody needs for a deck or something, right? And I don't have it, he can go and find somebody that has it, and then he puts his name behind it, right? So it's the same thing with me. Like if there's something that somebody wants, I probably know somebody that has it, and then I put my name behind that, right?
That's just a good looking energy.
Yeah.
So absolutely, and I like LSG's question because this is probably something we're going to bring up at one point or another anyway. So the people that are wondering, what is the biggest steal right now? I don't know. Right now, really, like if you can find anything that is Zard related, I know there's a lot of places that are selling out of. You know what the best deal if you're going to invest in anything, Unbroken Bonds and Evolutions and Burning Shadows, because they're out there right now. At least for stuff that's cheaper, that's the way to go. They've got Zards. Evolutions has the nostalgic portion. If you can find Generations because of all the Charizards in there, that's awesome. So it's all. I mean, if you're looking for
anytime a new set comes out, it kind of follows like vintage wise. It kind of follows like you're seeing Diamond and Pearl. Then your EX once Sword and Shield gets about halfway through of like quote unquote its life cycle or whatever you want to call it, those XY series stuff is going to go up so much. That's what's going to be, because Black and White's already doing it. Black and White's already be coming out.
If you can find these for a halfway decent deal, buy them.
Yep. That's where it's at. I mean, because vintage. I mean, like if you're looking at vintage stuff, there's not really. I mean, like it is what it is. Anytime you buy it, it's. I mean, you're buying it what it is basically at market price most of the time, and then you're just waiting another. Either you're going to open it or you're going to wait and hopefully in a year or a few months. Because I doubt you're going to see the boom that basically happened around like the movie when the movie came out, right? You could get let's say you can get a fossil box for like 800 first edition fossil box for $800.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not like, and now a fossil box is like $400 to $4,500, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to see that the jump it had to get there from 800. You're not going to see that same jump from like 4,000 to 8,000 in the same time period. It's so highly unlikely that you're going to see that. So the best deals are going to be the stuff that you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like quote unquote, like the semi-vintage or the stuff that's like almost impossible to like find now because it's just not on store shelves. I mean, I still like you can go on eBay and they're still selling those Hidden Fates boxes, the Master Ball and the Ultra Ball. I mean, they're selling those. They're trying to sell those for like $75, and it's like you can still find those at Target. I scoop them up all the time.
Yeah,
like for me that's a deal because I think in like a year, because every single like it's hard because it kind of because nobody's allowed to shop, so it's kind of taken a halt. Mm-hmm. But you're seeing less and less and less and less of that stuff over the last couple of weeks. Yeah. And once you can't find that stuff once you can't find that stuff anymore, then there's going to be the emphasis on first and second print run. I don't see it as much right now because you still see people opening up those Walmart exclusives. But I'm telling you right now, once the stuff's not available anymore, then you're going to see a big, like, I feel at least that you're going to see a big, you're going to see like you know what I mean? Like you're going to see I'm stumbling on the word for it, but you're going to see the prices between first and second run. People are going to stay away from pin collections because everybody's going to say this is a first run pin collection. Do you know what I mean? Like they're just going to say that.
Yeah.
There's nothing on it that unless you know where the seller got it, you're not going to know whether it is or isn't.
I mean, I can show you first run and second run side by side right now. You can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
To get with Ren for black and white. So all of them are going up, right? They're all on the upswing. I bought those. I'm going to tell you, I bought those plasma blast boxes at 300, and I can probably, if I tried, get rid of them for 6 right now. Plasma freeze is shooting up. Emerging powers is shooting up. Black and white is becoming people knew during the black and white time to snag up all that stuff. And Spencer, that's a good question. I'm gonna get that one in a second. And so it's going to get there, right? And it's just like some of the other sets. Like not everything is there in the beginning, but if you want to hold on to it, like it's worth it. And then with Epic Tube, totally agree with you. Flashfire going to go up. Why is Flashfire going to go up? All the Charizards. And the big thing with the Charizard sets is that everybody wants Charizard, right? It's the one that's going to, if you slab it out and it gets 10s, it's going to go up exponentially in price. It happens with all of them. That's why LSG buys up every single Charizard he possibly can, because he just knows that it's going to go on the up and up, right? And they're only going to get harder to get. It's tough. With Tim, like the other thing that you have to worry about, like if you're a player, like what depreciates when rotation happens, because rotation happens every year around August, and the 3 or 4 previous sets from that go out of rotation. Sometimes there's depreciation, sometimes there isn't. Like you're seeing an uptick in Roaring Sky sales for some reason, because the Shaman EX is like the card to play in Expanded right now. So everybody playing the main Expanded deck is playing 4 of those Shamans. Everybody's buying up Roaring Skies because that's the only place to find it. So there's usually a trend depending on what cards are out in, being released to go into Expanded. So there's kind of this, I've cut you off. You'll cut me off from buying them, but it's cyclical. It all just depends on what cards work with what. And going in with that. Ultra Prism is about to go. Yes, Ultra Prism is about to go out. I can give you a guess on what I think is going to go out here in just a second. But just Spencer, I don't know about the tins. It's going to be hard to differentiate the things that, like, if you're looking at investing in Hidden Fates, invest in the Pokeballs because they only did 1 run of them, or invest in if you can find them cheap enough, in the Elite Trainer boxes, because like they were the only ones that were first print run. It's hard to differentiate. I've opened 2 of the Rayquaza boxes. That one was a first print run because all of my baby shinies were the first, and then like the other box was all the old ones. And it's just going to be hard. The pin boxes you cannot differentiate. Like I've put them side by side and I can't tell. See you later, Trainer Wolf. Have a good night. So it's tough. I don't know. And then again, it's all depending on what people want to pay. Like just because stuff goes out of rotation. Look at the Charizards from Burning Shadows. Like they're still on the up and up, and Burning Shadows is out of rotation, but it's a highly collectible card. It's hard to generate on that. You've got to get the Rayquaza boxes with the heads on because they're not really worth anything if the heads have fallen off. But it's tough to keep up with it. So the ETBs and the Pokemon.
Hey, to sidetrack you on that, I know that the Rayquaza's heads may be knocked off, but I'm telling you here, like a year or two, they're not going to give a crap about whether that Rayquaza has a head on it. They're going to be give a crap that the cards in it are first print run. That's what they're going to care about. Yeah, they're not going to. Yeah, LSU is just making a joke. I know. I had a feed on that one. But I'm still working on that, Leo. Trust me, I got you there. But it's tough. In market trends are what market trends are. Like there's. I think some people were asking me today about buying full sets, and it depends on what you want to pay for it, and it's probably going to be more expensive to buy the full set because it's complete and you don't have to search for stuff than it is to go out and piecemeal it together yourself. But
But don't worry. So the slab talk is going on right now, and I think we're gonna tackle the slab thing the next time.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of slabs, LSG, I did do that. I don't know if you were in there earlier, but I did end up getting a PSA 10 shiny Charizard. I don't know, and I got it for basically a $400 mystery box. So I don't know if that's worth it or not. But I looked at it. It just was so many. We were talking. Adam and I were talking. I don't know, maybe yesterday about even the 10s can have slight. At least with PSA, the 10s can have slight variances, and so I'm even kind of anal when I'm looking at a PSA 10, at least with the newer stuff. To see like for centering and stuff, because not every 10 is equal with PSA, whereas with Beckett you get, I don't want to get too much into it, but with Beckett you can have like, they have the 0.5s and stuff, and PSA just have the 9 and the 10, and somewhere in between those is a very, very good 9 or a very, very weak 10. So but that's going to get sidetracked. We'll talk about slabs next time. But I did want to shout out that I did finally get a Zard, because Adam thought I was completely crazy because I have a Dark Charizard PSA 10, but like I don't have a base set. Like you have literally 30 times more Charizards than I do from base set unlimited.
The 2 Ultra Prism battle boxes, 3 blister, 4 booster packs with sleeve, all got for those. Huh? But if not possible, Spencer, you're talking about the Pokeballs that you have? I'm just trying to get where you're going on that, because I think this is the Hidden Fates.
I kind of wanted to hit off of what Trainer. So the Black Label that sold for $10,000, that is, first of all, it's, don't ever buy something when it first, like, regardless of whatever the chase card is. The people that buy it and then express ship it to PSA to try to get it back within, like, they pay that, whatever price it is to get it back in a week or whatever. Just wait. Eventually, like, the Charizards, like, they're probably at like 100 pop, right, for the shiny Charizard, and then all of a sudden, everybody that pulled one that just did the standard grading service, all of a sudden, within a few like weeks, months, you just saw an influx, and now there's like 800 PSA 10. It's just like, you got to take your time. But what that Black Label did do is, that's what kind of created all the hype around Hidden Fates. And when that happened, everybody was buying it. Like, I mean, because if you think about it, the first 3 weeks, like, it was just selling like any other set would sell. But then all of a sudden, like, it picked up steam, and then that 10,000, everybody wanted the golden ticket. Everybody wanted the $10,000 card, and that just wasn't realistic.
So,
and
I've been on I'm jumping on EpicTube, and I have been on the conspiracy theory bandwagon since that started, that it was somebody within the system that had bought that card for $10,000. Not necessarily at Beckett, because they wanted to get more Pokemon business than PSA was getting, because PSA definitely gets more Pokemon business. But like, was it somebody that was like, man, we don't really know if the set's going to sell. Like, there is a Charizard. Like, what if we create this like major 10K hype around it? Like, I don't know. Like, it's a possibility. I thought it for a while. Like, this is like an
crazy
job.
There's no design difference. I mean, like, there's different colors, but it's the same Charizard from what that style was, it Burning Shadows? Like, it's the same Charizard. It's just the rainbow one, but they made it in the shiny form. It's just, it's crazy. Yeah, someone from Pokemon bought it for $10K and was like, you know what? That's the best advertising we can do. Is like, get the hype chain rolling.
He knew that there were multiple. Yeah. Well, Spencer says he knows. Spencer says he knows the guys. And I believe Spencer on that one. So it was just like one of those things, like, but you had it. It was the first one that was out there. So, somebody just wanted it as the first one, right?
I don't even know what the pop is on them now.
The Black Labels? I don't know. But Does anybody have any questions? We're hitting about the hour and 18-minute mark. I think we were trying to go for an hour and a half. We'd love to sit here all night, but I'm sure that.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let us know. We do have a top 5 Pokemon cards of all time homework that we decided that's going to be that's how we're going to end it.
Yeah, it is literally the same Charizard. It just has to be, I mean, it's from a holiday set. Like, it's a Charizard. It's a different one. It's cool.
Speaking of the holiday sets, I think what I heard was the GX tag team that never made it to the United States is going to be the holiday set this year. So all those cards, the God packs and all that stuff, those are what are going to, like, some variant of, I mean, they're going to, maybe they change the artwork, maybe they don't, but I think the chase card this year is going to be the gold Charizard, an American.
Minimum rent, I go back and forth on that question. I grew up with the first edition stamp and I like it. I don't think they necessarily need to bring it back. I think it's really good for collectors, but for the average person, I think that shops knowing that it's a first edition run will, like, knowing that, like, the first run of it that comes out, they're going to sell it at a premium, or they're going to hold off until the second run. And I think that it really, really hurts the average everyday person that these cards are really designed for, and the kids. Like, I would hate to go down to the card shop and then be like, well, this is first edition. I mean, you can wait another month until the unlimited set comes out, or you can pay double the cost of the pack because I know that I'm going to get it anyway. That's my only issue with first edition stamps, because we've seen the trend of price over time with the first edition stuff. So I mean, that's my standpoint on it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm more of a traditionalist or whatever you want to call me, but I don't think there's a need. I know TCA's talked about it. I know Loot Box talked about it, and they think that, you know, the first edition stamp needs to come out and it'd be awesome. But, like, was it really an issue before the Hidden Fates thing? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it became a big deal because
screwed up the
Hidden
second
Fates
print.
had the first print run, and then they came out with a second print run. And the only reason it's such a big deal is because I think they screwed up on the shinies on the second print run.
They did. And that's the only reason that you can tell.
Other than that, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Well, the pull rates were awful.
But, and the pull rates. Okay. The pull rates are awful.
But if you didn't know the difference between the baby shinies, you couldn't tell.
Right. And my thing is and before Hidden Fates came out, was it? I mean, because I wouldn't know, because I just kind of came back in around Generation. I guess, I mean, so it's 2017. I really wasn't in hardcore maybe for like 8 months. But, like, has there ever been an outcry before for a first edition? Like, I think it just picked up a lot of steam during the Hidden Fates just because of the pull rates are horrible, and there was a variance in the shinies, and, like, but other than that, like, I don't know if there's a need for a first edition. Like, it's kind of cool that it's a WotC thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of cool that it's
leave it in the past. Leave it in the past. Leave it with WotC.
Yeah, I mean, I think WotC still does it. But, like, I just don't know if it's needed. I personally don't think it's needed. And I may be in the minority there, and I'm fine with that. But I don't think it's needed. I don't even think, like, for me, the whole argument, I think, started with Hidden Fates, and it was just because of the mess up with everything.
Oh, man, they're going to hoard it like toilet paper. That's awesome, though. At Expo, yeah, I mean, you saw it with Yu-Gi-Oh! It diluted the market, and now it, like, evens out. But I think it hurts the kids. And at the end of the day, like, I do cards for the kids, and then and the Epic Tube's bringing up the slab thing. I mean, I'm good if you're good to keep talking. The perfection on slabs. Well, it depends on who you talk to. If you talk to LSG, every slab's got to be a 10. We all have our own mindset. I really like chasing the 8s and the 9s. I think nowadays, especially like in the 4 series certs, like if you've got a 9, it's an old school 10. I think that the price on the newer 9s are going up because people understand that. But
I kind of did. Like, I'm with you. Like, that's a great question, and I wrote it down. I do kind of want to get into next time is like the 44 million versus like a 28 million cert and the differences, and like a lot of people there's some people out there that are like, you know what, a 10's a 10. I don't care what the cert number is. A 10 is a 10. And there's some people out there that won't buy, like, not that they won't buy, but they want there to be a premium on. So if you have a 10 Charizard, right? And I'm trying to think of, like, so we'll just say it's a dark Charizard, right? And it's a 2,000 or 2 million. I mean, like 28. We'll just say it's a 28 million cert versus like a 45, because because a lot of this stuff is opening now, that there's low cert numbers and high cert numbers, and there's some people out there that think there should be a price difference even within PSA 10s.
Tim, this is a slab. PSA graded cards.
Yeah. This is what we got there.
But LSG. I just had to do that because you were on this like 10 streak for a long time, and I think we talked about it the other day, and I think we're all in agreement. Like, just buy them up. Like, I mean, I'm going to throw it out there. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, granted, these would be free. If we decided to give a slab away during these Pokecasts, or Christy and I decided to give a slab away instead of doing monthly giveaways, and just, putting one of them out there each time, like, are you going to complain if the slab that we end up giving away is a 6 WotC holo card? I don't think so. But again, it's, what do you want? Do you want your card immortalized in a piece of plastic forever that you really want, or are you going for the value of it? Again, it's up to you. That's my thought on, do you buy up everything? I would buy up everything. I think it's a ton of fun.
I mean, I have tons of slabs. I mean, like for me, like, I'm doing the PSA 10 first edition Team Raga holos. That's because that was my favorite set, and I have a bunch of Team Raga holos that are 9s, and you know what I mean? Like, I probably have the whole set in 9s, but I'm trying to get it in 10s, and you can have a whole discussion about 10s being priced differently. They're both 10s and they're priced differently. Like, you can have conversations. I think it's a good topic to talk about, and I'm willing to like talk about that because I have opinions on that. But yeah, it's just, everybody's like, it goes back to when we were talking about what something's worth. It's all about who buys it, right? Some people don't care. Some of it, if a PSA, a 2 million 28 million PSA cert Charizard is, now that the market, there's a lot more higher cert stuff coming out, and if that means more to you and you're willing to pay up for it, then so be it. But at the end of the day, I think it ultimately is up to the buyer. Really, it is. Like, TCA Gaming, he doesn't care. A 10 is a 10 to him. I mean, there's strong 10s and there's weak 10s, but a 10's a 10. And like, if he has a complete 10 set and one of them's a 28 million and one's a 44, it's still, I completed the PSA 10 set. And then there's some people that, I'm going to charge you 10% more if it's a higher cert than if it's a lower cert. It's crazy. But if you look at like the Charizard team, if you look at the, like, or not the I forget what the guy from what's the guy that was on Palm Stars. Like, he has a bunch of them, and they're lower certs, and he's tried to like up cert them to see what they were in BGS, and they were 9s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just did a video with Leonhardt, but they're still 10s, and there's not a lot of, if you find me a high cert PSA 10 first edition Charizard. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, the thing about it is some of those, like, a lot of, like, even Poke Radar opened up a fresh pack and pulled a Charizard from it. It was off center a little bit. It was cut a little bit bad. I mean, like, they weren't the greatest quality of cards. So, I mean, that topic can go on forever and ever.
Again, it's like, do you want it immortalized or not? Because nothing's going to happen to the card once it goes into that plastic, as long as you take care of it. So
exactly. That's why a lot of people, like, my thing too, the piggyback off of LSG. If it's a Charizard, no matter what the condition it is, because we were talking about this the other day, no matter what the condition it is, you want to get it graded. And the reason is there's premiums for people that are, for you, if you get a 2, right? Because you can crumble up a base set Zard, and you're gonna get a 1, right? But it's like, what differentiates a 1 from a 2, from a 3, from a 4? Like, people that want 1 in every single one, they want a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, so if you find like a 3, that can be worth some money just because somebody wants a 3 to complete their 1 through 10 set. And another thing a lot of people want is the halves, because PSA got away from doing like the 0.5. So if you can find like a 6.5, I mean, that's crazy rare in itself, and it's a 6.5. So, I mean, like we've talked about, there is somebody out there for everything, and it's so that's I always say, like, if it's an older card or it means something to you, even if you don't want to sell it and it means something to you, I'm with you, Adam. Get it immortalized. Get it in a hard case. There's enough people out there that are trusted. That, I mean, I know that you said once it opens up that you're going to start sending in bulk. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities if you want to send a onesie twosie stuff in. There's people out there, so you don't have to pay the 20, 40, or whatever it is per card. There's ways. There's people out there, trusted people out there, where you can get your stuff graded for the bulk rate.
Absolutely. What else we got? What else?
He said Minuteman ran with the PSA ones, though. Hey, they're rarer than you think. I mean, like,
no, it's not LSG once Mazard. Yeah, I've definitely seen people sell like 1 through 10s on the starters from base set, and they sell them fairly high, and they do sell.
Yeah, those will always sell. Anything from base set will sell.
Are we missing anything on questions right now? There was another one that was in here.
I was definitely gonna go through some of these, like when we're done, and just
I'm gonna pull the chat back up.
Pull the chat up and then write down some of these questions and actually have them, like, because there's a lot of good questions in here. They can lead to like different conversations and stuff that we didn't even think about.
Anybody got anything else? I'm not trying to hold a time limit on this. The last time we said that we were only going to talk for 30 minutes, him and I ended up at 2 hours. So, like, we never know what's going to happen. You had another. I saw one up there. I was trying to find it. You had said something like you may not have, so you can answer this at another time. Holiday set, special set. Okay, absolutely. I would really like another set to come back that did the gym sets, and then add the new gym people into it. I think it would be awesome. One of the best things to come out of Pokemon lately, at least in like the newer format, was those trainer cards that they did in Cosmic Eclipse. I thought those were fire. I would like to see that come back. I'd like to see the old gym cards come back. And because they did Jungle and Rocket and base set together, right, when they did Legendary Collection. So why not do something like that with the gym sets, and maybe like Team Rocket Returns,
like the Evolutions had the base set stuff in it. Like I don't know for a holiday set, but I definitely think was Evolutions a holiday set?
I think it was a standard run.
Yeah, so like I think something like that, if they did something where they did like the gym, or so you can't really do. I don't know if you could really like redo. Maybe you could, like the e-reader stuff, because that stuff's even hot, especially for like the Aquapolis and
Skyridge and stuff.
Skyridge. I mean, those are so expensive to like do a reprint of those. I think those would sell well, just because. I mean, why is Evolutions? Why was it the #1 printed set, and why is it still like one of the highest selling sets? Is because like there's vintage stuff in there. You can pull a base set chart. Like, yeah, you can pull that. And the thing about it is you can pull that, but then you can also pull a full art, a full art Charizard, like that's like modern. That's a full art or whatever. There's something for everybody in those. But I would love to see a gym set for either mixture of gym heroes and gym challenge. I think that would be awesome. Yeah, I think it would sell really well too.
Yeah, I think Spencer's got it. It has to do with who owns the rights to those cards. So like Legendary Collection was a WotC set, so they own the rights to all those cards.
No, I don't think. See, WotC. WotC. I don't know if WotC owns it as much as like they are just. I mean, Pokemon company still owns it. The the thing is and the artists themselves, the illustrators, still own the illustration.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they were able to come out with Evolution. So I don't think WotC owns anything. They were just licensed to print the cards.
To print the cards, yeah.
So so Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge still could come, and I think it'd be.
Cool.
think it like.
Blaine's Charizard coming back would be nice.
What's that?
Blaine's Charizard coming back would be nice.
Yeah, and then you could also, you could do those, like, there's some cool trainers in there too, like Blaine. Like, you could do some really cool full art trainers in that set as well. I think that would be awesome. I'd be down for that because I got super excited when I first started back with Bryce with Evolutions because he was like, "What are these cards?" And I'm like, "Those are cool." And then that's really cool. And then he'd open one of the newer stuff. They had like a Mega Blastoise and they had the Venusaur and they had the Charizard. So like he'd be like, "That's what you want," and you know what I mean? Like, so it's something for everybody. So I enjoyed those sets.
Yeah.
And like you said, they're $100 and you still get the nostalgia of pulling older cards. They're just newer prints or whatever.
It's been beaten out. Yeah, it has been. So we'll go into the final portion of this. If you guys have any other questions that you want to see, I think we're going to start this at every 2 weeks. And then if people want it weekly, maybe we do it weekly and we just run it a little bit shorter. Or we run it for an hour and then we'll do questions for however long people have questions for. But we wanted to end this on our top 5 cards that we were looking for right now, if they're in our collection or not. And I'll shoot it to you. We'll start at the bottom and then work our way up. And
do you want to do 5? You go to number 5, and I'll go number 5.
So if I was to rank our 5, I did ours as a family because we do everything together. Would have been that Rainbow Rare Alolan Ninetales from Lost Thunder.
You don't have that one? Or
we
you do have that
we
one?
did get it, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You have like 2 of them now, right?
2.
Yep. So like my number 5. So mine's gonna be vintage, and mine's literally gonna put all my cards on here. The one, I love the artwork too, right? So one, it's gonna be geared towards my favorite Pokemon, and then 2, it's gonna be vintage because that's what I love. And let me tell you something, my cards will probably end up putting your wallet into a recession too. It has nothing about and let's see, 1, 2, and I had one of these cards, but I don't have it anymore, so that'll give it a clue. But other than that, I don't have these cards. So my number 10 is the card I actually just sold. It's the PSA 10, or it doesn't have to be PSA, but it's the first edition base set Gyarados. That's my number 5. I had it, then I let it go away.
I'm liking Spencer. Spencer's like, do it weekly during the lockdown because nobody else has anything to do. Our number 4 would be just strictly nostalgia. I'm not a big fan of the Pokemon, but we did add it to our collection. Was the base Zard. Like, you have to have one. Like, that's just kind of how it is. You gotta have one. It's Pokemon. Like, it's what everybody chased when I was a kid, man.
You know what's funny is I don't have one, and he's not on my list. There's a Charizard on the list, but he's not the Charizard. So number 4 for me, and what I think is one of the best artworks for my favorite Pokemon is the first edition shiny Gyarados from Neo Revelations. PokeRip actually pulled it. I actually think it's his favorite card too. But him menacing coming out of the water, and there's this poor guy that's like rowing his boat. Yeah, dude, that is I don't even have that card. Then you end up buying that as when you bought that set, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, dude, that's the best artwork by far. Look, you got him menacing. He's coming out. He's first of all, he's the red Gyarados, which is the best Gyarados. His eyes are beaming, and then the poor guy in the boat looks like he's probably shit himself. But that's number.
So cool.
Yeah, that's number 4 for me.
I knew that was going to be on. I had a feeling that was on your list. That's why I got up and grabbed the 10 because I just had to.
Yep. That's the first thing. And when you showed me that, as soon as you got that set, I'm like, get the set. Because did you buy that off? You bought that off like a
Facebook group.
Yeah. I was like, dude, you got to get it. And when you got it, I was like, oh my God. Because you got the shiny Magikarp.
Magikarp's in it too.
Yeah, that's another great card. It's not on my list, but it's a great card.
So my number 3, and it was the card that started the channel. Christy pulled it on camera with me. It was the chase card of the channel. Was the Rainbow Rare Blasty from Unbroken.
Man, that's a great card. That's a great card, and that was back when you didn't have a production crew.
No, and because he's in here, I've got to say it's Spencer. The evolution of our channel video is coming. I'm working on it right now because you had asked for it. You wanted to see how we started super ghetto to where we are now.
Hey, you know what's funny is like every time I at least when I first started, like when I subscribed to your channel and other people's channels, I'd watch the current video and then I'd always go back and just watch the very first video before I'd watch like any other of the recent stuff. It is so great.
It's rough.
Yeah. So number 3 for me is like this is one of my all-time favorite arts, and it's actually one of my top 3 favorite Pokemon. So it is the first edition Slowking from Neo Genesis. It's super, and it's like a pop, like it's super low in pop. I mean, like the card right now in a pristine BGS like on eBay, which really doesn't mean anything, like we talked about before, but they have it up for $20K. $20K, crazy. Yeah, it's super low pop. It's super low pop. First edition. It's just the way they're printed, the amount of foil that's in the holo. It's impossible to find them in PSA 10s. That's number 3.
My number 2. Most of you can probably figure out what it is. It's the heart. It's just got to happen. Like, and
I'm not sure what it's not familiar what card that is.
It's the Latios and Latias alternate art card where they're kissing. Like it's become our thing, and we're gonna get it. So,
and I don't think I've ever seen that card.
You're such a jerk.
All right, so my number 2 is actually my favorite Zard. So Zard did make the list at number 2, but this is my favorite Zard. It's the favorite artwork I've had. It's pretty, obviously it's expensive too, but the Gold Star Charizard from Holland Phantoms. That's my favorite Charizard artwork out of all of the ones that were out there. The Black Charizard.
That's a good one. It is a good one. I'll give you that one. Yeah. That's a good one.
The black, yeah.
I'll give it to you.
All right, so what's number 1 for you?
Can you guess it?
Base set Blastoise?
In first ed, number 1.
First ed? Yep. Had to be, right? You just recently got an unlimited one. It's the artwork. The artwork's simple, but it's some of the best artwork.
I got a couple of them now. I got a couple now.
All right, so my number 1. Try to guess it.
Well, you had the base set Gyarados. You had the first edition Gyarados at the bottom, right?
Yeah, it's number 5.
It's got to be a Gary card.
It is. Favorite artwork of them. Well, Ace is my second. That and the shiny, they're pretty close.
Is it the one you didn't think you had?
No, that was the. Actually, I just got an offer on that one. That was the one from.
Then I don't know. I don't know what one it is.
It's the Gold Star Gyarados. He's the red flaring Gyarados, the Gold Star. Check. I don't know if you're familiar with artwork.
I know it now. Yep.
It's from that one's from Holland Phantoms in the Charizards from EX Dragon Frontiers. So I got those mixed up. But yeah, it's one of my favorite artworks. He's just menacing. He's just red. He's jumping off the page. I mean, those Gold Stars are where it's at right now. Those are crazy expensive.
Yeah, Ren, we got the Rainbow Rare Latios and Latias the other night. But we're about an hour and 45 minutes. We've still got 11 people in here. I can't thank you guys enough for any of this.
Yeah, guys.
It's been amazing. Everybody's been cool. All the questions and stuff. Everybody's sticking with us. I think we were at like 23 people watching at one point. So real cool.
That's more than we thought. We just like you said, we just wanted to get into it because we sit here and chat for 2 hours, and before we know it, it's been like 2 or 3 hours, and it's like we're talking about cool stuff. There's got to be other people that like would want to talk and chat and hear just about old nostalgia and new stuff, and like in a couple episodes we'll do like deck building and just all kinds of different stuff. I mean, hey, if we're gonna do it anyway, might as well be interactive with people. And you guys are awesome. I mean, tons of fun doing it.
Still here, still busy. Small openings is still here. That's awesome. Epic or K-Dub, you asked about building decks and stuff. We'll get to that on the next one for sure. That was something that we had tabletopped if we got to it today, because that's kind of where most of my sales come from, is in deck builds and stuff. So we'll get into that. I have it written down to make sure we get it next week too. This week's was on our channel. We're gonna do it on Trainer. We're gonna do it on yours next week, Adam, and then we're gonna, we'll just keep going back and forth. We'll talk about it if we have time. We'll do it weekly because that's what it seems like everybody wants during the shutdown. And then
it's probably we gotta wake up early in the morning to get anywhere. At least right now. So.
Well, I gotta go to work tomorrow, but I don't have to wake up early. But
I gotta wake up and turn the computer on.
Yeah, and homeschool the kids. But thank you guys very much. If anybody has any questions that they want answered next week, hit up either one of us on Instagram. It's the easiest way to get us.
Yep.
If you do not know who the Golden Wartortle is, please go and to Wartortle's channel. I'll put a link. It wouldn't allow me to put the link in his channel until after the live stream. So I'll put a link to his channel down below. Tim beat me to it. And I'll put that in there. But EpicTube, I'll write that question. Can you write that down, Adam? EpicTube's question. Please go and show him some support as well. So
and I'm gonna go through the chat, and then if you think of stuff too, we're gonna post this on my channel. He's gonna send me a copy of it, and I'll post it on my page too. And then I'll look through the comments after this is over. On NC Packbuster on Adams, and I'll write down stuff because that's a good question. Like I said, we got
Price came in.
Mrs. Wartortle.
Oh, what's going on, Portia?
Wartortle trying to get 3 children to bed.
Yeah, she was homeschooling today, and now she's getting kids to bed.
Well, you're in your son's room, aren't you?
Write that down. We'll get stuff posted, and we'll get more questions answered. Like we said, this is kind of where we wanted to start, and we had tons more ideas written down, and then with what you guys end up putting in the comments, there's enough topics to fuel.
Absolutely.
We're never short for work too. So
nope.
I think that's it.
All right,
Make sure
guys.
you guys check out let's see, today's Sunday. So in 3 days, NC Packbusters doing another live opening.
Yeah,
guess what? I just sold my last Misty Pack, so no more Misty Pack.
All right, sounds good. But from our side,
we'll still put it in the comments though.
From our side, happy pack busting, everybody. Thank you. Send your questions away, and then go visit Danny Fantub. And I think Golden Wartortle is giving you the peace out. But thanks again, everybody.
See ya.